very quickly after the 7th of October 2023, the EU member states were quickly relatively divided when it comes to their position towards Israel. Of course, there was generally a large sense of solidarity with Israel after the Hamas attacks and a clear signal that Israel has the right to self-defense, but some member states quickly started to also criticize Israel for its conduct of the war. There were member states like Ireland, Belgium, Spain, Slovenia to some extent that have been more outspoken from the start, but a lot of other member states continued to insist on Israel's right to self-defense and refrained from criticizing Israel openly. Now, this year, I think, especially after the breakdown of the ceasefire, this has changed a bit. There's more and more member states that have been critically, openly criticizing Israel's conduct of the war and insisting that this has nothing to do with self-defense anymore, that this campaign in Gaza does not serve any military means anymore. And so we have seen a lot of member states' positions also shifting. And some of the member states have already been quietly working behind the scenes and increasing pressure on Israel. Yeah, so the Commission President von der Leyen has really surprised many with her remarks during her State of the Union speech, where she was much more critical of Israel compared to the past and has really put forward also some concrete measures on how the EU can increase pressure on Israel. Now, it's been for a long time that the EU as a whole has been divided when it comes to the positions on Israel. There have been already a lot of critical voices. For example, some EU member states or also the former High Representative Josep Borrell, but these voices so far have been rather isolated and a sort of a smaller group. Now, the fact that Commission President von der Leyen has changed also her tone and who has been considered for a long time rather close to Israel and also reluctant to criticize Israel openly is really sort of showing a clear shift also in the EU position as a whole. And probably a lot of this is also political calculation. She has been under pressure from EU lawmakers, but also increasingly there's more and more protests in the streets in European capitals and also inside the European Commission. There have been staff who have been protesting and calling on the EU to change course. At the same time, it is also a reflection of a sort of generally a change in the European public opinion and also among a lot of the European leaders.